I bought a £6,500 XAA van and I'm 1 month into converting it into the ultimate stealth camper van. Make sure you check out the first 6 episodes in this series where I strip, clean and prep the van before laying the insulated floor, remove the bulkhead, start the insulation and install a reversing camera. In this episode I focus on completing the framing, insulating the walls and a few other odd jobs. I'm also joined by a special guest. So grab a coffee, sit back and enjoy the episode. Good morning folks, back in the van. It's a lovely sunny day. I think this is going to be another episode. We're kind of in the stage of the build where it's a bit kind of like dotting between different things to try and get them complete based on the materials I've got and like kind of deliveries and things like that. I did mention in the last clip that a few bits I need to get done before I can really start to build out the van. Now that is securing down the floor as the main thing, and sealing some of the insulation closer to the floor, putting in a bit more of this kind of bubble foil insulation, for example, like down here, and then obviously up some of these columns before I can start framing out this top section. Again, foil insulation is going to be going on there. I need to drill a pilot hole for where the waste pipe is going to go into the grey tank sitting underneath the van, which are yet to install. So what I'll be doing is popping under the van through the hole that's already been made, stick a drill bit through, send it up through this wood, give me an idea of where it's going to be. I'll just enlarge it a little bit, maybe like an inch or so for now, and that's where we'll be putting the waste pipe for the sink and the shower that will be sitting there. Now whether you'll be able to see this or not underneath the van, I don't know. However, see this hole here, it was a pre-drilled hole in the van already. There was a plug there, I took that out, just saved me from re-drilling. That is the beginnings of the waste pipe hole. It will be a lot bigger obviously because I'm going to be fitting probably 40mm push fit tube through, and the waste tank will sit along here. I think we're going to go with a 30 litre waste tank and a 100 water fresh tank. There's lots of nice supports to kind of tie in that waste tank. Yeah, pretty straightforward. We've obviously just drilled straight through. You can see the ground through the hole there. So that's sitting kind of top right end of the van. Fresh water tank here, hot water heating system here, batteries, etc., power. Sink's going to be sitting above here. Shower fold down here, so sink waste and shower waste will be going down this hole. There's a few cut marks I need to make. You can see down here I've just marked up with pencil. Take about 3mm off there, and some of the rear as well, just down there. You see where it's touching the metal? I need more of a gap, a little bit like this, so that I can fit some of this silver lining kind of down there, and seal it all in. It's basically because I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think I'll be carpeting some of the columns, particularly this middle column here. Although it will be inside a cupboard, I obviously need to cover the metal, so I don't want to box it out and take up more space. So before carpeting it, I want to make sure the metal is covered in the foil, help with insulation, help with stick, etc. The floorboards are marked up with where the beams are, with the direction of travel. Let's see one, for example, here. It runs up underneath there. Yeah, all the way up, so I know where roughly to drill my pilot holes for the screws. What we're going to do now is cut pieces of the insulation and start just running them around here, probably about 10-15 centimeters up, so they stick above the floor line. That way I can then build on top of that when I go up the wall. This foil is really nice to use actually, I definitely recommend it. It wasn't expensive. I think it was from Amazon. 20 or 30 quid for 20 meters. Very good. pressing it into place. It's already going off. Very sticky. Right, now we'll just use some of the aluminium tape to seal off the kind of joins. Stuff's pretty easy to use. Can be a little bit fiddly. Doesn't look too bad. Obviously the floor will be sitting up to there, so it's to create that kind of a lip, I guess. Right, we'll move on to the column over there, and then we'll repeat for the other side as well. Okay, not perfect, but it'll do. Very difficult to get down in there to force it in, but I think it looks okay. Happy days, the other side is complete. See, sealed up there. Nice one. Probably won't be doing this sill, as I think I'm just going to have to carpet that, but that'll be boxed in anyway behind the bulkhead / sliding doors I'm going to try and make. But that's sealed in, so time to get rid of all this crap on here. Pretty straightforward with this one, won't keep the arse out of it. It's just screwing into the pocket hole things I've made. Interesting conundrum. The way the van is shaped, this kind of wall sticks out obviously a lot further than down in there. So if the batten goes the way it's been screwed on here, and I put some plywood against it, there's about a centimetre gap once it's kind of screwed and pushed against the wall. About half a centimetre to a centimetre gap. So to solve that, I'm just going to turn the batten on its side, and it sits pretty much flush with the other two battens that stick out. Right, I'm going to call these pocket holes, I don't know the word, recessed holes, drilled in there. So 2 for the metal, 1 for the floor. It's going to be pushed against that and held there with screws. Let's do a quick recap before we move on. Insulation under the floor complete, battening complete, floor is screwed down, nice and solid. We've foil insulated the lower portion of the van, taped it up, wheel arches, etc. We've done a good bit of the PIR type insulation in the walls, bit of the ceiling, and inside the some of the panels. We've also done the first fix electric for some of the appliances that are going to go in, things like the lights, the fridge, the kind of garage lighting, the rear lighting that's going to be inside some of the cupboards at the back. You can see those taped up out there, relevant plastic tubing. They're all in place. Framing has started along the sides and below here as well, which we've just done. Reversing camera is also in place up in the tailgate, which is nice. So 2 key next steps now. Let's get the solar power first fix lighting coming through the roof and down into its conduits here, which will feed it over to the battery area. Second is insulating with the foil insulation up the columns, up the side of the van, so up here, because these are going to be carpeted. Taped up, all done, good to go. Second side complete, looking even better than the first, kind of getting better as I go along. I think this will help me actually with carpeting it. It's the same sort of technique, stretching it around the little corners and stuff and trying to make it fit, but yeah, it's looking very nice. Pleased with that. Right, it's starting to lose light for the camera, but when does that ever stop us? So we're going to get stuck into some small tasks, first of which is putting the solar cabling through the roof. Not going to be sealing it in just yet, as I don't have the sealant. I need to order it, but I need to get the wiring through before doing anything else. Needs a good clean up on the roof here, but you've got these kind of plugs that were or are in place with a hole, so I'm going to take that out. You can actually see where I've blocked up previous plugs, but yeah, this is where the solar wiring is going to go through. So this is the plug that pops out of the roof. I'll zoom up, you can see the hole up in there, so it's inside the column. So what we're going to do is try and feed through some of the conduit up into the roof, stick it out the roof, and then one by one we'll feed through the two solar cables. Right, conduit is through the hole. I'll take you outside. There we go, you can see that. Feed them through. Let's have a little look. Yeah, that's it. Through into the van. See the cables come through here, and we'll see if it's long enough. Might not be. What I'll do is probably just duct tape that down, seal it off a little bit with duct tape, and the ends of the wires with duct tape overnight. It's not going to rain or anything, but yeah, just to keep it safe in case. So I've got myself a helper today. Miss Lily. We're going to be doing some of the insulation. So we've got the Dodofleece liner, 5 centimetres thick. I think it's about 10 or 20 metres of it. So that's going to be going in all the gaps, like the columns and pillars and all that kind of stuff. So we'll open this up and then start stuffing it in. Are you ready? She's ready. Nice.
Is it wool?
No, it's plastic bottles, recycled.
Oh, some of those
doesn't feel too. I mean,
do you have to chop it up?
Yeah, we will do. Doesn't feel like it's going to cause loads of bits. I think it might be alright with masks.
I don't think it's worth it.
It is. If not, we just use the knife.
I'm going to be here for hours.
Okay. I'm not sure I should give you this knife.
Wait.
But we'll give it to you.
I'll just tear it.
Can you give it a go? This is the most dangerous thing. Lily with a pointy knife.
Wash your hands.
Just do like gentle. They don't tear hard, it's gentle, yeah. Look what you did. Perfect. Then take that end and start to put it through.
Like that?
Yeah. It doesn't need to like force in, it just needs to touch all the sides but not be squished.
I'll have to go like that.
Yeah, that's right. Look at my little worker bee go. Not impressed.
I don't know.
It's good.
Oh.
Nice.
Is it? Oh, no. You want it like...
Yeah, just make sure it's all the way down. So there's no gap out there. That's perfect, yeah. Brilliant.
Woo! Next one.
No, okay. You've got that big coat on as well, it's probably difficult to get your arm up there. Take it off. Take it off.
I put out.
No.
Where is it?
Feel it?
I think that's... We might need a stick.
That's right. Stick that one up.
Because then you can just push it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't really know how far up it is.
Okay. Lily's got skinny wrists, which is why she's doing this, because my forearms don't fit up there. Too juicy and big. Need more?
No.
So this next section, what we're going to do is use a bit of glue, adhesive spray it in there so the insulation just actually sticks to the wall and doesn't just sink down over time. Put it behind the wires if you can.
Behind the wires?
Yeah, if you can. Right, we're going 2 for 1. Lily's going to stuff over there. I'm going to glue behind here.
Oh, I need to stuff up here, I'm guessing then.
Yeah, but focus on the lower
Whoa,
bit.
the heck? Where does it go?
Oh, yeah. Focus on just doing this lower bit.
She's shy on camera.
Yes.
Just going all along.
Yeah.
What should I do now?
Build up from that.
Is it just this bit we're doing?
And that little panel behind us as well.
The bit keeps poking out and it's really annoying.
Try and be like...
What? You tried doing the small bits, you did the easy bit.
I'm just thinking about how long we've got left.
Oh, well, this can just go in here. Perfect.
It's good.
Yep. And is that's all that then?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Should we do the other side?
Yes.
After you've done that bit, I think we'll probably do for tonight. It's good. Woo! Are you going to make more appearances in other episodes?
Maybe.
Maybe.
A bit cold now.
You're getting cold. Bye. As you can see, we made pretty good progress last night with the insulation, packed out the cavities, etc. So first up, we're going to be working on the battening on this section of the wall. Should be a little bit easier than this section of the wall, so I want to have a bit of practice on the easy bit first and see how we get on. Also rocking the red flannel today. I'll switch it up. I think I'll start using this one for DIY and outdoor stuff, so yeah, we're good to go. So what I'm going for here is just measuring across the panel at the point I want the batten. So 112 centimeters roughly. Yeah, and then really 3 up the wall. Same drill as before. You can see drill the pilot holes in the end of the battens. It's going to be fixed into place there. I'm going to whack in some vertical supports with the little pocket holes made with the drill. Same detail as below really, it's pretty straightforward. Doesn't look too bad. That'll do. I'm using 9mm ply over the top of this, so it's a little bit more flexible than this 12mm, which is a little bit thick. But yeah, that'll be nice. It'll have a bit of a curve kind of coming up that way, and probably a bit of a curve, I guess, coming that way because this sticks further out than that does. We are back on the roof again. I've had a few deliveries, one of which is this epoxy putty stuff, which we're going to be using to build up this dipped section here so that the solar power grommet thing can kind of sit on top of it. Before I do that, I'm going to need to clean the roof around this section, and then we'll be mixing together the 2 components, the hardener and the actual epoxy. I've left this in the sun for about an hour and it's warmed up nicely, so it's nice and squishy, easy to work with. It's amazing how dirty this roof is. It actually looks like it's discoloured, but it's not. It's never been cleaned, I don't think. Yeah, the difference in the cleanliness of this section I've just cleaned is ridiculous. So that's definitely going to need a full clean before the panels go up. So this pack comes with this little spatula. I'm just using it to cut off some of the hardener and the epoxy. It won't really go off until you mix the two together. So yeah, £10.99 for this pack. I used JB Weld on those like holes and things you can see there. We'll see what kind of difference this stuff is like. Just twist it around. As it starts to kind of blend in, it gets easier. Right, that'll do. You can see it's all mixed in. Definitely recommend not using the gloves that came with them. Last time I used some of the rubber nitrile gloves, which worked way better and don't fall apart in your hands, so now I'm going to have to get steel epoxy up my fingers. About the length of that, there we go. Probably a bit too much actually, but that's fine. And what we'll do is start to push it in. Make sure all the gaps are filled. Happy days, that is straightforward enough, as you can see there. So I'm going to let this sit for about 45 minutes, and that will it'll go off by then basically, but it takes about 24 hours to fully dry. I'll probably come back later this afternoon and silicone adhesive the plastic protector down into it as well. Now, with the few extra deliveries that have come in, today is a day of bits. So obviously we've just done the solar kind of grommet area. I think I'm going to do the rest of the PIR board insulation. So the roof above me, well, except this bit because that's where the fan is going to go. Ordered 3 more bottles of the spray glue, so yeah, we can get that sorted. Right, it's starting to run out of the foil, so I've kind of done bits of it on this section here. This section can stay blank for now until I cut the hole for the fan. Front section done. What I'm going to do here is actually use some of the insulating foil barrier stuff, cut out a whole square and just stick it over the top of that to help it all stay in nicely. Continue along the insulation theme. I think I'm going to foil up these back columns and not stuff them with the fibre stuff just yet. I might actually keep them clear because there's a lot of electronics behind here. The rear lights, need to be able to access them. So I think foil them up and then cut out the holes here, and I'll create like little covers for them. I think these columns are going to be carpeted or potentially like boxed off, but I reckon carpeted might look the best. Time to get some of the framing done for the roof. So we'll be cutting strips of 12mm ply, thicker than this, longer than this, and they'll be going over the columns, or whatever you call them, in the roof. Going to be a little bit tricky on some points where there's obviously like, you know, cables and light fixtures and stuff. So we'll just split the wood to fit around those. Pretty straightforward, really. Just measure the distance that I want. 132 centimeters. 132 as well. And I think we'll make it probably 5 centimeters thick. What I'm going to do is mark up where I want the drill holes, pilot holes through. Obviously there's a lot of holes in the metal, so we don't want to be drilling into nothing. These need to be pretty secure as they're going to be holding the really thin plywood roof sheets, obviously to the roof, and then on top of that have the slats of some sort that we use to decorate the roof with. Happy days, first one complete, as you can see there. Fairly straightforward to do, though sending the self-tapping screws into double skin metal is very difficult, especially as these aren't metal self-tapping screws. Slight curve there for some reason. However, the rest of that is looking nice. Very, very solid. So, repeat, 1, 2 more to go. For this second one here, I've split the panel into 2. As obviously you can probably see on the camera, we've got the wire. Oops, I'm gonna have to cut out a section of it, but yeah, that will sit up to there. I'll have the wire opening, and then the second panel will sit there. So yeah, the side's now attached on. Cut down the smaller section, pre-drilled the screws. That's going to slot up there. Oh, there you go. So we've got the gap for the wires to come through. Perfect. Looks alright. You can see that gap for the wires, because obviously the ceiling lights are going to be running out into the ceiling or behind the ceiling. Might have to make little tracks actually for that in the insulation, as it's some sections it's quite close to the wooden support. Right, unfortunately this section's split. There seems to be some sort of like loose panel down the centre of a section of the sheet of plywood, so I'm gonna have to redo this one. Okay, this is gonna have to do for tonight. 1, 2 and 3. Still got the 4th section to do back here. Not entirely sure what I'm going to do, but probably going to be a batten running across this way, because the roof's obviously going to come into here. I won't curve it down. I'll keep this lip, maybe carpet it or something. This section here has been an absolute pain. This screw here is slipped in the kind of in the wood, so it's not biting into the metal and it's just spinning, which I can't get it out. So I'm gonna have to work out a way to solve that. Maybe I'll just cut it off, just completely sack off that section.